that there were a number of tents on the grounds of St. Michael's Cathedral on State Street. I'm Peter Goonan. I'm a reporter, and I covered the issue of homelessness for The Republican and Mass Live. It was a terrible way to live.
Certainly you couldn't help but be overwhelmed by the humanity involved.
It was desperation. Nobody knew where they could go.
This was the last recourse, and it was unfortunate that it had to come to that.
That's not what our community is.
Love, rescue me. Come forth and speak to me. Raise me up and don't let me fall. No man is my enemy. My own hands imprison me. I said, love, rescue me.
It had a lasting impression at Peter Pan because the very day that we buried Peter Pignelli Sr., we drove by Tent City, and his son, who's the president of the bus company, said, "This simply is not the way my father would have envisioned his city."
The city, through its health department and the Greater Springfield Chamber of Commerce, came together to lead the creation of a 10-year plan to end chronic homelessness.
So they went from a focus on shelters to a focus on housing and services, and the tent city became a thing of the distant past.
The plan itself was what laid the foundation, because like a business plan, it had goals, it had objectives, it had numbers that it had to meet. And I think that's the thing that I'm most proud of.
So we came up with the idea of how having a homeless resource center, which would be a place where the homeless could go, where their needs could really be addressed properly. Never been done before in the state, and my guess is it probably hadn't really been done much as a model in the country. So Jerry McCafferty and I found ourselves one day, we were called to the Lieutenant Governor's office, and we met with him. He was fascinated by the concept, and then he said, "Bob, can you really do this? Can you raise the money? Can you make it happen?" And I said, "Yes, sir, we can."
The business sector, again, rose to the occasion in working with all the agencies involved. Because if we were going to win this war on compassion, we would have won this war 20 years ago. The business community raised about $1 million.
I'm really proud of the Greater Springfield community. The fact that we built this building against all odds and that people in the community cared enough to build this place and to try and make an effort speaks volumes to me.
Friends of the Homeless has been instrumental in this. We are nationally recognized, really moving away from the triage activities of emergency shelters to the housing first and giving all the other supplemental services that you need under one roof.
My name is Delphine Ray. I'm an assessment specialist, and I was previously homeless. The worst things about homelessness, it's lonely. It can be frustrating, it's scary. I really, really, really want to help somebody. If I have to bend my back a little bit, then that's what I'll do. We all work on this together as a team. Everyone that works here has been through something, you know, and everyone that works here has something to offer. The best part of my job is seeing somebody that's been successful while they came here and come back to say thank you.
What we've designed here and, you know, what our emphasis is looking at the whole person. So a person who is homeless 24 hours a day. They don't disappear at 7 a.m., they go somewhere, they have to be somewhere. So our services are available 24 hours a day.
This is a one-stop, that there's going to be many services here, and it is not a warehouse for people, that there's really many things going on. Emergency shelter is one. but resources and social services is another. And the third thing, that we are permanent housing. We have over 100 units of permanent housing, and we look at ourselves as a leader in all three of those areas.
I moved to Springfield in 1999. I got evicted. It was January 14th. Told me I had to be out by 7 o'clock that night. It was like the last place I wanted to come to, but, you know, I had nowhere else to go. I had nothing. I didn't have anyone. It's a terrifying thing that you don't know where you're gonna be, where you're gonna go, where you're gonna sleep. I use it as far as going online to find a job, you know, listings on masslive.com. As far as looking for an apartment, help me better myself. I came in rough around the edges, very angry because of what happened to me. And I would take it out on people, but it's not their fault. And they helped me to see that.
I just haven't been making a steady enough income for the last 4 or 5 years to support myself. And I was just bouncing around from friend's house to friend's house, and yeah, I was going through the homeless stuff for 4 or 5 years before I got here. You have more time to, you know, think about the changes that you need to make some adjustments in your life and make things better. This is a place where people come that have to, you know, repair themselves and try to find some way to make some changes.
We are really blessed. We have a sort of a perfect storm here of people who've come together, I think. We have a dedicated, thoughtful, intelligent, diverse group of people who've come from different backgrounds, you know, different lifestyles, some formerly homeless.
Before I got here, I had endured homelessness, issues with substance abuse, issues with mental health. I've been incarcerated, got sick and tired of being sick and tired, and I changed my life. Took a while for me to get where I am, but I am where I am, and change is possible. I have a passion for doing the job that I do, you know, and I'm here to help somebody.
What's a nice girl like you doing in a place like this? That was probably the biggest surprise to people, I think, when after 29 years I left television to come work at a homeless shelter. Personally, this was the story that resonated. This was the place that I saw it was time to roll up my sleeves. And I felt on a moral and ethical level that we needed to do something in this community to make a difference for everyone. And it started with the people who had the least.
I get a paycheck of the heart here that I've never gotten at any other job. And I can work a 14-hour day on my feet all day at my age, and I still drive home smiling because I feel like I'm making a difference.
When people come in to volunteer the first time, they don't know what to expect. They're a little apprehensive, they're probably scared, they expect sort of a dark, depressing experience. I tell them that I've never worked in a more joyous place.
We started volunteering as a branch organization, a store organization, about 3 months ago. All the residents are very kind and pleasant, grateful for something that seems so simple to me, that it doesn't take much effort for me to do it, but I find that it's very, very rewarding.
The street count happens the last Wednesday of January every year. Very cold time of year, so we expect to find the hardest to serve people who won't access shelter out that night. In 2004, we found 98 of them out that night. So this last January, our street count found 5 people.
And if you look down here, you'll see there are hardly any activity. You don't see bags hanging from the trees. You don't even see the footsteps that would be all around. There's not a little fire that has been kindled recently. This leads me to believe that a good deal of the people are not here like they used to be.
Friends of the Homeless is actually the resource center is a welcoming place. It's easier to connect them to services. So it ends up having a place that will draw people in from the streets is the first step in moving them on to housing and keeping them from living on the streets here.
I can't tell you how much it means to be able to help try to find some people and tell them there is a place for you, a place that's secure, a place that's warm.
We just don't know what other people are struggling with. Oh, I had a 55-year-old woman in shelter who we gave a birthday party to, and she's in shelter, and she was somebody who was abused for years, you know, beaten by her life partner who she didn't want to leave, and that's another mystery that I can't fathom. But the point is, she said it was the nicest birthday party she had ever had. She's 55 years old, she's living in a shelter. She's given a party by other people in the shelter, and it's the nicest party she ever had? Really?
Many strangers have I met on the road to my regret.
As beautiful as it is, this building is really just bricks and mortar without the services that go in it. Those services are what really change the lives of individuals experiencing homelessness. And we need to support that.
Though their thoughts they would conceal, I said, love, rescue me.
When I think of the Friends of the Homeless, I think of hope. Anyone who does this type of work, they see the beauty and potential of each person they work with.
Is there a lot of good in the city of Springfield? Yes, there is, no matter what creed, color, or background or association.
I think it says a lot of things about the community. I think it says Springfield has a heart.
Our staff and our volunteers together work really hard to try to give people their dignity back. And I'm very proud of that because these are individuals. They could be our kids, our parents, our brothers and sisters. I look at them that way when I come here. And I think we give them that dignity.
I just know in the back of my mind that eventually something's going to break and I'm going to be out of here.